How to get an hourglass figure fast as quickly as 90 days. Today I'm going to share the protocol that I used with my own wife that allowed her to drop 14.2 pounds and the same protocol that I've used with my sisters. I know this works because it's the same strategy I've used with the thousands of clients and ladies that I've coached over the decade. It doesn't matter if you're 20 years old or if you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. I'm going to show you the fastest way to get your hourglass diet, specifically putting major focus on the nutrition. We know that you need to have the right nutrition to be able to shrink the waist and for you to get the hourglass figure. Summer is around the corner and I'm going to show you specifically what you need to do step by step. Let's dive straight in. About a week ago, myself and my wife created a video titled The Fastest Way to Get an Hourglass Figure. And in this video, we specifically spoke about mindset all the way onto cardio protocols. And in that video, I shared that you guys can comment down below your age, weight, height, and how many times you're training so that I can help you in the comments with the hourglass figure. And to my surprise, I never expected to receive 922 comments. I did everything in my power to be able to reply to as many of you ladies as possible. But the guilt of not being able to help you and creating that hourglass figure diet has consumed me, and I'm going to show you and not just give you the fish, I'm going to show you how to fish. So in this video, I will show you how to build the perfect deficit for the hourglass figure. I'm also going to give you a meal plan to follow and how to make adjustments throughout the months that come so you can get to your result quickly, and I guarantee this will work for you. I'm also going to give you the logic. Let's not waste time and dive straight in. So I've gone as far as even using some of your own examples so you ladies can literally copy the way that I'm going to build some of these hourglass figure diets. Here we have a comment by Ardina. She's a female, 27 years old, 97 kgs and 1.7 centimeters. She's walking 6,000 steps daily and 15 minutes of abs workouts 4 days a week. What I'm going to show you anybody can do. Let's dive straight in. So let me show you how to build the perfect hourglass figure diet. The links to all the websites that I'll be using is linked in the description. I'm not affiliated with muscle hacking, and I'm going to show you how easy it is so you guys can copy it for yourself. So number one, Yardina is a female, 27 years old, 97 kgs. She's 1.7 centimeters, or she means 1.7 meters in height. She's walking 6,000 daily steps and 15-minute ab workout 4 days a week. So all you need to do is go to the website. She is going to be using metric because she's using kilograms, and I'm just going to change the details here. She's 27 years old and her weight in kgs is 97 kgs, and she is 1.7 meters, which is 170 meters. Remember here, gender, to click female. Now, for anybody who is training 1 to 2 times per week or less, I consider them sedentary. If you're training 3 to 5 times per week, you're moderately active, and more than 5 times, 6 and 7 times per week, I consider you to be very active. That being said, Yardina, my advice to you is that I highly recommend that you resistance train at least 3 times per week. So you can at least do a full body session, maybe one on Monday, maybe one on Friday and one on Sunday if you're very, very busy. But that's what I recommend. Ladies, it's so important that you focus on building muscle. It is the elixir of life. So it's going to keep your bones healthy. It's going to give you the curve that you need for the hourglass figure. So that's the big piece of advice that I can give to Yardina. So here, her activity, I'll change to lightly active. The typical caloric deficit we want to establish to lose and shrink the waist is about 20%. And I'll show you how to be able to turn the dial if you want it to be a bit quicker. And the standard I like giving someone is 1 gram of protein per pound. Now, if you're obese, then you can change this to 0.82 on this website. But in general, for most ladies, I would give 1 gram of protein. And here we go. Your calories, Yardina, to maintain your body weight is 2,390. So if you ate that every day, you would maintain that weight. To be able to lose weight, right? And here it shows that you'll drop about 0.43 kilograms per week. On these macros, that's 1,912 calories. Now, as you see, she's about 214 pounds. So she's been given 214 grams of protein, 43 grams of fat, and 166 grams of carbs. Now, in this case, I would want to have Yardina roughly at 25% of her total calories in her event towards her fats, and that will give her 198 grams of carbs, 29 grams of fat, 214 protein. And what's cool about this is you can change it to imperial, and this will help her drop 1 pound per week, which is fantastic. A big thing I see a lot of ladies do is that they severely undereat, and they see this and they're like, wow, that's a lot of food, Dr. Mike. You want me to eat 200 grams of carbs? Carbs is your body's main energy source. Your brain utilizes glucose as the primary energy source. Your muscles, to be able to lift weights heavily, need and require glucose, and the rest of your body requires glucose at a high amount. Now, 29 grams of fat can be a bit challenging, Yardina, so I may take you to that 30%, right? If I were to just build this for you custom. And a note is that with my clients, when I build this for them, I have a lot more context with regards to their situation. So do take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I do not have the full picture, but this is my best advice. So Yardina, these are your macros. I'm going to screenshot that for you, and I'm going to just put them here. And ladies, you can literally go to the website and do the same. But that's not it. I'm going to show you guys more examples of what you need to do. Let's go on to the next person, just to give you guys more different examples. Here we have Claudia, 36 years old, right? So I'm going to change her age here to 36, and her weight at 198 pounds, right? So Claudia, 198 pounds. Already, Claudia, I would say eating 200 grams of protein is going to be our best bet. And then her height is 5'6". That's 66 inches. So Claudia in height is about 66 inches. She's female. And she's saying, I walk every day about 20 to 30 minutes per day and weightlift about 2 times. Ladies, you need to go to 3 sessions of weightlifting. If you're walking 20 to 30 minutes a day, that means you're only getting 3,000 steps. So the same advice I have for Yardina, 6,000 steps, we need to get that to 8,000. This way, I tell my clients that walking is always going to be in their insurance policy. With my clients, when I get them to 15,000 steps, they melt their fat off. So both of you, I would say, hey, you need to start walking more. This is going to help with your blood sugar control, especially if you go through your monthly cycle. This will help you manage your blood sugar a lot and reduce the amount of body fat on your frame. I would also consider her lightly active, so I'll leave that as. We want to have a 20% caloric deficit and 1 gram per pound. And why I chose her comment is literally she was the only person who said thank you. Here we go. Claudia, these are your macros. I'm happy with 30%. Your calories is 1,766 calories, 198 protein, 1 gram per pound, 32 grams of fat, and 170 grams of carbs. Now, could you potentially increase this to 35? And that's what I like about this, is that you can play with the fats, which is usually what we want to manipulate. And keep on watching, ladies. I'm going to show you how to adjust your calories as you go. But Claudia, 1,766 calories, 198 protein. You can eat 38 grams of fat and 158 grams of carbs. Now, again, that's the biggest mistake I see ladies make. They say, Dr. Mike, I've never eaten this much food in my life. What we want is we want your body to do the work. We want your body to process the food, digest the food, and utilize the food so that you can burn the calories. And especially eating a lot of protein, your body will burn so much more calories. The protein will help you build a lot more muscle mass. You will get stronger in the gym. That allows you to create a better hip to waist ratio and shoulder to weight ratio to get the hourglass figure. So Claudia, you can start at 1,766 calories. And the advice I give my clients and the advice I give everybody is give these macros 10 to 14 days. And if you see no changes in your weight scale, in your tape measurement, and in photos, then say, okay, I'm gonna drop it by 100 calories and go from 1,766 to 1,666. And that would just mean dropping your carbs by 25 grams. We know that 1 gram of carbs is equal to 4 calories, which means 100 calories is equal to 25 grams of carbs. Typically, I love reducing the carbohydrate intake. So she would go from 158 and then reduce that by 25 grams, which will take her to 133 in terms of carb intake. And now that you know how to build your own calories, what I can definitely do now that I can get to everybody is let me know what results you got, and also give me your age, weight, height, gender, and how many times you're training. And I'll at least leave a heart if I like the number that you got based off of the data, or I'll comment and give you some advice. But now you ladies know what to do, get your result, and if you want my confirmation, give me all the details and I'll advise you. And in general, if you have questions for me, I'm in the comments, especially in the first 48 hours of the video. And if you guys have found this content helpful, leave the video the gentle thumbs up. I think it's inspiring a lot of women. I was blown away from the last video, but let's move on. Perfect. Let's go on to the next lady. Jess77 Surf says she's a female. She's 47 years old. She's 5'5" in height, 137 pounds. She's working out 4 to 6 times per week, which means she's moderately active in activity. She's doing weight training, flexibility, and running. Congrats, Jess. Good job. She's training to compete in Spartan OCR races throughout the summer. She's a surfer and survivalist, and she's in perimenopause. Ladies, if you're above 40 years old, keep on watching till the end, because I'm going to give you troubleshooting ways to break through your plateau, and I guarantee these will work. She's in perimenopause, and injury has added about 15 pounds to her body, and she's been struggling to get it off. She's on hormone replacement therapy, and she's tweaked her diet, but she's still very exhausted despite having good blood work. So I'm going to help you as much as I can here, Jess. But a few things is that, okay, she's perimenopausal, she has high awareness of where her body is. Jess, congrats on like all the hard work, and I appreciate you sharing all of this stuff with me in the comments. So let me help you the best I can. So first of all, let's adjust her numbers, and I'm gonna give her some advice, especially with regards to the perimenopause. So she's 137 pounds and she's 5'5", which is about 65 inches in height. And I'm going to change her to moderately active. And that's what's cool, ladies. You can see as I change these metrics, you can see how many more calories she can eat. I'm still going to give her 1 gram per pound. And these are your macros, just to cut. It's 1,560 calories, 137 grams of protein, 39 grams of fat, and 164 grams of carbs. I like these macros. So you mentioned that you're feeling very tired. The first thing I'm seeing is you're very active. So you're doing a lot. That means there's a lot of energy leaving your body. If you're not recovering and really filling your cup back up, it is very normal to feel tired. So I hope that you're sleeping 7 hours. I didn't see a comment about that, but make it your priority to be sleeping 7 hours. When my mother-in-law was going through perimenopause, it was the sleeping that caused her weight to go up. And with a lot of our ladies, that's the first thing we fix. So that's my biggest piece of advice. Make sure you're getting massages, make sure you're very low stress. And finally, like I've mentioned before, what I see with a lot of ladies is that they're severely under eating. If you're doing all the activity you're doing and you're eating less than 1,560 calories to lose weight, this is very likely. Another thing I see is like, Dr. Mike, I'm eating 1,200 calories. I'm only gonna gain weight if I eat 1,500. And the short answer to that is, the logic is, if you just keep on severely under eating, you're gonna be stuck between a rock and a hard place. So it's like getting the wrong answer on a math equation. The way to get the right answer is to start over again. And I know that sounds painful, but think about it. When it comes to your body, you have one temple, one vessel. Rather just do it the right way the first time. So these are your macros. Now, let me show you how to manipulate this data, how to build your own plan so that you can be successful. How I would design an Hourglass Figure diet. And again, ladies, the reason I'm doing this is because I tried my best to get to all of these comments. Now, before I continue, let me know, ladies, do you want me to maybe do a live stream? And I'm happy to spend like 2-3 hours with you guys on a live stream, really talking about what nutrition we can build and actually doing this for you live and helping as many people. So comment down below, hey, Dr. Mike, would love the live stream, or let me know what videos you would love to see. I can talk more about what we did for my sister. There's so many things we can work on. But anyway, let's continue. So now that you know and you've calculated your own Hourglass diet, I highly recommend that follow the diet for at least 2 weeks, 10 to 14 days. And in the first month, if it's the first time you're eating that amount of protein and the first time you're training so hard, it is normal not to see a weight scale change, because it's common for a lady to start gaining muscle mass and to be losing body fat at the same time. So if you gain half a pound of muscle and you lose half a pound of fat, then you're gonna see no change on the weight scale, but your body's changing. And this is literally what happened with my own sister. She built a lot of muscle mass to get her Hourglass figure, but she didn't see any change on the weight scale. So don't only use that tool as what you rely on, but we want to change 100 calories every 2 weeks. Typically, I like reducing it from the grams of carbs, and then only if I need to. If you're maybe at 50 grams of fat, I would reduce fat as well. But do this slowly, guys. Give your body time to adjust. Now the question is how to build the diet plan. I'm going to show you exactly how to. When I started in my journey, this helped me tremendously, and this is a macro Venn diagram. So now you know how much protein, carbs, and fats you need to eat, and all you need to do is say, okay, what foods am I gonna pick to be able to create my calories? So on this Venn diagram, what's cool is you can see all the foods just in red. These are just carbs. All these here, chicken, shellfish, protein powder, canned tuna, egg whites, lean turkey, lean fish are all protein. And then here you have all your fat sources. And what I loved about this is you can see what options, if you just have your protein and carbs left, then you're like, okay, I can have pasta, I can have skim milk. Or if you said, hey, I looked at my macros and I only have protein and fats left, then you say, okay, I can have nuts, seeds, most beef, whole eggs, etc. So this can give you inspiration of how to build your own plan. So whenever I saw that, hey, I have a lot of carbs left and a little bit of fats, then I would look here at carbs and fats. So I'd say, okay, maybe have some dark chocolate, or maybe have some avocado on a meal. And that's how you should use this Venn diagram. So ladies, right now, take a screenshot. I believe this will be very helpful to you in the future. Moving on, the other way we want to go about this is, now that you know what your macros are, you want to track your calories. These are the 3 apps that I use. And literally, guys, in the past, before apps existed, we would take a book and we would write down, okay, this is how much I ate and the quantity of it. Now we have apps that can do it. So these are the apps that I recommend. Macro Factor can do all the calorie tracking for you. I believe you can use it for free for 2 weeks and then it becomes paid. So you can use it for 2 weeks, and then if you don't find value in the app, you can change. But this will allow you to track. The only downside is that the tracking is fantastic for America. It's hard to find foods outside. Another app is Lose It or Calorie, and it looks like you can even take pictures of your food to help you track the calories. But your main job, guys, is you want to look at your macros and calories as a puzzle, and you want to make your puzzle fit the best and hit those numbers as closely as possible. The advice I give to my clients is, when it comes to your protein intake, we want to be plus minus 5 grams. So the way you want to look at your calories and macros, it's like a puzzle. You want to make your puzzle fit as much as you can. So this is the range of error that I'm happy with. So with protein and carbs, because they're so low in calories compared to fats, I go plus minus 10 grams. So if you're supposed to eat 200 grams of protein, I go no higher than 210 and I go no lower than 190. And the same with carbohydrates. If you're supposed to eat 150, don't go higher than 160, don't go lower than 140. And with fats, plus minus 5 grams. So if you're supposed to eat 45 grams of fat, I go no higher than 50 and no lower than 45 and no lower than 40. Try and keep it as concise as you can. So you can use Lose It as another app, and then the classic one is MyFitnessPal. All these apps are great diaries so that you know if you're hitting. And for those of you who may be like, Mike, I hate tracking, there's so much work, my recommendation is track for 1 day and then eat the same food every day. Then you don't have to track. You just need to measure and make sure you're eating the same quantity. Now you know what apps to use, but I'm even gonna give you one better. I'm gonna give you a recipe book to follow, and I'm gonna show you how to manipulate it. So here you guys go. I'm going to give you a booklet that has 21 recipes on there, and it's linked in the description. Basically, what it's going to ask you to do is put in your email and name, and this will allow you to join my email list. I promise you, I'm not going to spam you. All I'm going to do on that email list is send this nutrition booklet, a training plan in the future, really things you can action on. I want to be able to have contact with you guys for whatever reason in the future. And if you don't want to be a part of the email list, you can always unsubscribe once you've gotten the booklet. But let's go to the booklet so I can show you how to use it. So as you guys see, there's 21 recipes in here, and this is the way you want to manipulate things, right, accordingly. So let's say you decide, okay, for breakfast, I want to follow Dr. Mike's egg tuna toast. And remember that macro Venn diagram? As you can see here, there's 68 grams of carbs in here, and we know that the carbs are coming from the toast. So you can say, okay, I want to follow Dr. Mike's egg and tuna toast, but instead of 4 slices of toast, I'm going to have 3, and that's going to reduce your carbohydrate intake considerably. You may also decide, maybe I don't want to give 25 grams of fats. I don't have that. From the 5 hard-boiled eggs, there's 1 whole egg we use. You can just have egg whites instead. And what's cool about this PDF is that if you click the link here, you can click this little play button and it will take you to the video showing you how to prepare it. Let's use like another meal. Here we have Dr. Mike's Mac, the burgers, only 34 grams of carbs. And let's say you wanted to save on the carbs. You could totally make it exactly how I've given it to you here. And instead of the buns, you can say, you know what, I'm actually gonna make a low carb burger and use lettuce wraps as your burger. And that's how you wanna use this. So now you have 21 recipes to build your hourglass figure. But again, for the ladies above 40 years old, I'm gonna show you how we can troubleshoot your journey. So let's dive in. Now that you have the meal plan, I feel like by now, ladies, we shouldn't have any excuses. I've shown you how to build your calories. I've given you recipe books and I've given you the apps to use. And you can even use AI like ChatGPT or Grok or Claude to be able to build you any meal plan. I wanted to do that in this video, but it was just simply going to be too long. For most of my ladies, if you want to eat healthy, the easiest way that I can show you is adopting more of a Mediterranean diet. And I'm just going to show you what foods we want you to eat, right? So we want you to have fruit and veggies. The benefits is that it will help you reduce oxidative stress, reduce the inflammation, and they also contain things called phytogens, right? That will alleviate some of the menopausal symptoms like hot flushes. These are the whole grains I want you guys to be able to include. So whole wheat, brown rice, oats, barley, and quinoa. So for example, for breakfast, having some oats, overnight oats for breakfast. You can have quinoa as a dinner option. And what's amazing about them here is that they're fiber rich and they provide a steady release of energy. You're not gonna have an energy crash. We wanna have nuts and seeds in the diet, and all these foods are specifically for my 40-year-olds. So, you know, having flax seeds, chia seeds in your diet, sunflower seeds, just make sure that they're in the right quantity. We don't want to overshoot your fats, but they're rich in omega-3s. These are rich in healthy fats that are necessary to improve your heart health, reduce inflammation. Lentils, chickpeas, and beans are something we want to involve as well. And you guys can just pause the video to really read all the information if you want to find this useful. Olive oil as our source of oils, right? And just make sure that it's good quality olive oil, extra virgin, right? We want to have more fish in our diet. So salmon, mackerel, sardines, right? And then these are the protein sources. So chicken, maybe some lean turkey. And these are the benefits of having all of these different foods. So now I've given you guys different ideas and the benefits behind it. Now, I've made a video fully going through a menopausal, perimenopausal diet, so I'll link that in the description here below. But these are the biggest mistakes I see ladies make. So if you're not really seeing results, it's because number one, you're not tracking with an app. And the best analogy I can give you is that when you're not really weighing your food and tracking, it's like using your credit card and spending without really looking at the price tag. After a day of spending, you're gonna be over on your credit card, and exceeding your credit card limit is like gaining fat. So that's a big mistake that I see. You're eyeballing the quantity. You're just saying, I think this is the amount. Most times than not, you're incorrect. You're drinking calories through the coffees that you're having or through the drinks that you're having, and not being consistent. You didn't get fat in 1 month. You're not going to get super shredded in a month either. So think of it as a habitual change that you're making. But this is where I want to dive into the troubleshooting for women and why women find it so much more challenging to build their hourglass figure diet. And I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot them. So for most women, that's very unique compared to men is that women go through a menstrual cycle. In short, is women go through a month of bleeding. Again, we will talk about the ladies who are facing perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms. But why I put this slide in here is what I want you to remember is that you have 2 main phases in your menstrual cycle. You have your follicular phase, which is from the first day of bleeding until ovulation, which is roughly at day 14. And that number can fluctuate. It can be 16, 17 days. But I want you to remember follicular phase and luteal phase, because we'll talk about these 2 phases and how it's so different for women. And things change, right? You're seeing that there's hormonal changes during this time. Understanding where you are in your menstrual cycle will really explain the changes you're seeing, and I'm going to give you a nice cheat sheet so you can understand your body better. Knowledge is power. So apps like Flow is amazing to track your menstrual cycle. Clue is another amazing app, and my coaches and my ladies have recommended Stardust. So this way you can share it with your partner. But let me show you why following your menstrual cycle is important. So I want you guys to also take a screenshot of this and read it in your time. But basically, I'm going to show you the difference of what can happen in follicular phase and luteal phase. And remember, all women are different. So all the things I'm about to describe, one or all of these things may directly relate to you, or some of them. Some women have PMS symptoms and some don't. So understand that what I'm saying here doesn't mean it's going to directly impact you, but it may explain how you're feeling. In the first 14 days, women have higher energy levels. They're better at recovering, right? Because of estrogen, right? They're at peak strength. So usually in the first 2 weeks after bleeding, so from day of bleeding and those first 2 weeks, you're the strongest you'll be. You're going to get the heaviest lifting. You're going to feel super strong. Your ability to build muscle will be the best because of estrogen. And you're also going to lose the most amount of fat because your body's more sensitive to insulin and your body's going to use the glucose a lot better. You can deal with a higher carb diet in the first 14 weeks and you'll have minimal or lower bloating. Your metabolism will be slightly slower and you'll notice quicker recovery and you'll generally have a better motivation. Now, 2 weeks leading into bleeding, right? 2 weeks leading to your period, energy dips, strength dips. You have a decrease in strength. It is possible to still build muscle, but it's less efficient. Fat loss becomes a bit harder during the 2 weeks leading to bleeding because of estrogen, right? And I've made videos going into the nitty-gritty of this. It's okay to increase your fats and maybe your carbs a little bit during this time because of cravings. So it's normal to have cravings leading up to bleeding. What happens is women feel like they're failures or that the diet isn't working because they think it's the diet, but they just didn't realize that, their period is coming up. They also will notice, hey, I'm bloating and my weight's going up. And if you don't understand why, because your body is 2 weeks away from going through bleeding again, that's why. So all this information will help in terms of decision making and understanding. And a lot of the times this can be the turbulence in your journey and where you just decide, you know what, I don't want to continue. So take a screenshot of this. Now I want to address my ladies over 40 years old. I want to be able to help you guys. Number one, research has shown that women have limited knowledge on menopause before the age of 40. And they only ever started thinking about menopause when the symptoms began. So this indicates a lack of preparedness, which makes the process of menopause overwhelming. And you saw the client that we were talking to before, Jess, who was experiencing menopause and not understanding, and this can decrease your quality of life. These are some of the symptoms that women will face during menopause, right? Their irregular periods, night sweats, they're sleeping poorly. My mother-in-law was feeling this vaginal dryness, hot flushes, low libido, and this can also impact your ability to lose weight. So some of you may be asking, what is perimenopause? It's menopausal transition. Women's ovaries gradually start producing less estrogen. And the simple way I can explain estrogen is estrogen to a woman is what testosterone is to men in terms of energy and their ability to perform really well. So estrogen starts decreasing, and for men around this age, their testosterone also starts decreasing. And it typically starts in women's 40s, but it can begin as early as mid 30s. So you may start feeling some of these symptoms that we just described here. And these are some of the symptoms that women will feel: breast tenderness, irregular periods, mood swings, fatigue, weight gain. If you just start seeing, wow, my weight is coming up, it's because you're going through that change. It doesn't mean that we can't do something about it. Anxiety, depression, difficulty sleeping, all of these. If you're not sleeping poorly, it's easy to gain weight. And so many of my clients experience this and they've been able to make these adjustments. Like Shannon, who lost 7 pounds. Even my mom was postmenopausal. And I'm going to show you what we did for her to finally be able to lose the weight. And she's even dropped more weight since. I want to invite all the women at this stage to potentially consider this as an option if you've never seen any results, especially with menopause. Number one, take all the advice that I've given in the video. Build the calories, be very diligent, especially if you're over 40. You need to be more precise than you were in the past because you don't have your age that's compensating for the mistakes that you're making. Now you need to be very precise. You need to really take care of your body. But for all my ladies who have tried and tried again, I highly recommend you apply to work with me and my team. And especially if you've tried all these things, you've tried the medication, Weight Watchers, the counting calories, low carb, personal trainers, keto, intermittent fasting, and you still haven't seen success, I highly recommend you apply. And the same is applied to all of my clients. Trish, 44 years old, our operations director, dropped 24.5 pounds with us. And look at her and her husband. Her and Brent actually did the program together. And you can see they're in the same place on holiday, and it just looks like they've reversed in age, which is exactly what we want at Sculpt by Science. We want our clients to live longer, feel younger, and move faster. Kathy, she's been on the channel, and her husband was doing the program first, and she was a non-believer, and she dropped 16 pounds. What I wanted to show you with Masha's transformation is don't use just the weight scale as a source of success or not, as your determinant for success, because you can build muscle and lose weight. And here we have Masha with her hourglass figure at 43 years old. And how we do this is through our method we call the DNA sequence. We diagnose our clients the same way we would as in a hospital, but all of my doctors are also experts in health sciences and nutrition and training. And what I highly recommend is doing a blood diagnosis for you ladies. So if you're in that 40-year-old range, the typical cause we see for a lot of ladies is that there is an underlying mechanism that's stopping you from losing weight. And it's important you go and do a blood test. So this is the blood test that we do with all of our clients. When they come in, it's part of our program. We don't do them independently. We have partners that we partner with. Thyroid function test, liver function test, lipid profile. I would also check testosterone for women, fasted glucose level, vitamin B12, and progesterone. And here we have why we're looking for these. And these are optimal for men and women. Even if you're not above 40 years old, to do these tests. And for premenopause, these are extremely important. All these tests are going to tell us what's going on. We might discover, and we often discover, that there's something wrong with the reproductive system. So do these tests, take a screenshot, take it to your general practitioner and ask them to run these tests. And this is my team of doctors. There's more people on here, but we have Dr. Zeno, Dr. Jess, Dr. Payan, Coach Max, who's our physical therapist on staff. And they are my family. They're extremely caring. And why I do this is because I finally want to have a guaranteed way for my ladies to be able to see the same results that my mom did. And Dr. Zeno is actually the person responsible for helping my mom drop over 40 pounds. And just having someone in your corner to really look at the nitty-gritty and build the plan out for you is the guaranteed way to do it. And I am so passionate about this because I get coaching whenever I have a difficult time. And what I see with ladies is that they're very caring individual. They care for their family, they care for everyone around themselves, but they don't care for themselves. And that's what we do at Sculpt by Science. After we've done a full diagnosis, we then build out your nucleus, which is the core things that you're going to do every single day of your life to be able to drop the weight. This goes from precision health. This is where we focus on everything you put into your body. You saw those specific lists I was giving you of food. We are very precise with every gram of food that goes in your body. It fights for its place on your plan. Then we talk about prime recovery. For women, it's so important to have low stress and to make sure that they're sleeping adequately and correctly, where they're spending the right time in REM sleep, in slow wave sleep, that they can have optimal hormonal production and peak performance. This is where we build all the training output. We get pictures of your home gym if you're training at home, or your gym wherever you are, so that we can build the most amount of muscle mass in a short period of time. Everything we do is extremely bespoke, and you're working with a team of doctors. And then finally, we have our application phase. This is how we make sure that you're literally applying everything that we're doing. There's weekly calls that you have privately with your coaches. I'm very passionate about the product we've built. If you want that help, if you want to get your hourglass figure, just like my wife did, just like my sister did, it was all through Sculpt by Science. Look at our clients, Evelyn, 38 years old. She's a business owner. And for you ladies who maybe don't want coaching, you don't have to just watch my videos. I'm giving you everything for free so that you can try yourself first. But if it doesn't work, then come to us. Evelyn, business owner, dropped 11 pounds. Look at her waist coming in, and she's dropped so much weight since then. Look at my client Sandra. This is actually incorrect. She's dropped over 50 pounds already, and she's now looking even better than she did when we took these pictures. And if you want that help, if you want to see success like my wife, like my sister, like everybody, First link in the description, click on that. You're going to get a short 4-minute application that you need to fill. Put as much detail as possible, and you're going to get the opportunity to speak to one of my teammates. That includes Dr. Zeno, that includes Coach Max, so we can truly see what it is that's holding you back and how we can potentially help you. Worst case scenario, what we see with a lot of our clients is that they get so much clarity at the very least about, okay, these are probably the things you need to do next. Because we're such a tight-knit team, don't apply if you don't fall in any of the categories that I've listed. If you feel like you still know it all and you feel like you just haven't put the work in, then just do that first. If you're only looking for accountability, that's not what we do. It's part of what we do. Our clients need all of the help. They need all of the things we offer, not just the accountability aspect. Let's say you're traveling or you have many things coming up and you don't feel prepared to really dive into a program, then don't apply now. And I recommend first trying the free stuff, maybe buying a program, and then consider coming through our doors. We are a team of doctors. It is premium, but we guarantee the result. The attention to detail, you would have never gotten this level of attention by any doctors in your life. So I highly recommend trying the free stuff first. And look at my client Marilyn, 18 pounds down. And what is more than the weight that she's lost is just look at her energy. Look how much better she feels. And Marilyn, if she sees this, her goal is to be a brick house, a shit brick house is how she says. So we have a very tight-knit family here. Jasmine, who dropped 11 pounds, Hallie dropped 8 pounds, Ruth, you see she only dropped 2.2 pounds, but she wanted to, and she's a doctor as well. Dr. Ruth wanted to lose her baby weight and she finally got her abs. And I'll leave the video there for everybody. Now you know how to build your hourglass deficit. And let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do the live stream. Leave the video the gentle thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.